Welcome to the Consultants Counsel podcast, a place for consulting industry guidance and best practice advisory. Whether you're working to grow in your consulting career, you're managing and developing a consulting firm, you're working with consultants, or you're just interested in business and high-performance advice, we've got recommendations and education for you. I'm Kelsey Creveling, founder and CEO of Kelsey Consulting, a firm focused on building high-performing organizations, teams, and individuals through a variety of ventures, including the Consultants Counsel. I've spent my career at the intersection of technology and management consulting, working with organizations across the country to help solve their toughest challenges, while also supporting the growth and development of multiple consulting firms, helping them improve their long-term performance trajectory. In addition, I serve as a startup investor and advisor, promoting the ideas of entrepreneurs as they work to gain traction in their industry. With so many people gearing up to launch their own businesses and establish their own consulting practices, I want to make available the advice and lessons I've learned along the way. This podcast is made possible by Kelsey Consulting, with media support by Class Act Media. For more information, check out our site at theconsultantscounsel.com and kelsey.consulting. That's KELSC.consulting. And now, stay tuned for this episode's counseling, because the consulting world is full of nuances, and the answer is always, it depends. What's possible? Do more. Hey there, I'm Kelsey Creveling with the Consultants Counsel, and I am super excited for today's special session from Park City, Utah with my dear friend, Kerri Allardyce. So, Kerri is a serial entrepreneur. She's developed numerous businesses and sold several, and is actually getting ready to launch her own net new venture, which we're very excited about, one of the reasons why she's here today. So for those of you in the consulting world and the professional world, you know we're constantly bombarded with tons of stress, things taking our attention, pulling us off center. And one of the things that's most critical in order to be able to render great results for our clients and to take care of ourselves is the ability to stay balanced. And so today we're going to dig into some more of the health practices that we can take on in order to stay well and balanced and healthy and happy, and being able to then render great results for our clients and ultimately finding more joy for ourselves. So with that, Kerri, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks
really,
for having me.
Really fun.
Welcome to Park City again.
Right. One of my favorite places in the world.
Right.
So yeah, tell us, you've had a long track record of building success both in business, but you've also done so much from a health and wellness perspective.
Oh, thank you.
How do you feel like the two blend together for you?
I think that you can't separate them. When we wake up in the morning, there we are. When we go to bed at night, there we are. No matter where you're traveling, it's like there we are. And I think that all humans have this, how do I have the balance and keep it all together and have quality relationships and produce quality content? So I think they go hand in hand, and you don't really separate them.
Yeah. So then how did you go from wanting to build businesses to really looking to blend a wellness practice in within that? Was that a shift for you? Was that something that developed over time, or is it kind of sudden?
That's a great question. Thank you. So I started my first entrepreneurial venture in 2000. I was a rodeo photographer of all the things. When they say go niche and specific, I went specific. And I think as an entrepreneur, you kind of think, wow, I better figure this out. I need to be healthy to achieve my business goals. And so I am a serial entrepreneur. I love building businesses. I'm really good at it. And then I get bored with them. It's the actual day-to-day stuff. And I feel like I was born to be a coach. And I think when you're a little girl, they call it bossy. But I kind of lean more towards, wow, how can I take my love of knowledge, learning how the body moves and learning how to feed our bodies and take care of ourselves. I tried to take all of that and say, okay, what does that look like in real life? And a genuine desire to want to help others too, even if it's just a friend saying, oh my gosh, I'm doing this new supplement, or I've got this new yoga class, or I love this hotel because it gives me peace. Next time you go, you should try this. Or I think a heart of a teacher, as Dave Ramsey would say. And so this coaching business takes all of my businesses. Yikes, it's been 23 years, but takes all of my businesses and all of the skills and coaching that I've received, and I get to put it all into one and show up as a teacher. And I try and have the heart of a Sherpa, where it's like, hey, here's some really cool things that I've learned that have worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. And then also, I think collaboration is important. When you bring people together who are focused on the same thing, like wellness and producing good content and showing up in your full, as your full self, when you bring that together, that's super powerful.
Oh, absolutely. So Kerri, you're also a yoga teacher.
Yeah. So, well, I'm trained, classically trained, as they say. But yes.
How does that then blend into building balance across the stressful practices of running businesses?
Yeah, and travel and the physicalness. So the reason why I took my teacher training is because selfishly I wanted it for myself. I wanted to know how to better take care of myself, for one, but I wanted to know how to move through a sun salutation, and when do I need a sun salutation versus a full-on heart opening practice, and when do I need more restorative type thing. And I wanted to know what I was doing on my mat and why. And so from a teacher perspective, I then took all of that and said, okay, what do I want to offer people? And what I try to do again is be a Sherpa. I want to teach you how to go through a sun salutation that feels good to you in your body. So when you roll out your mat at home or in the hotel, wherever you are, or your workspace, I want you to show up intuitively and connect with self and go, man, I just need a couple child poses and maybe some cat cows, and my hamstrings are tight, so I'm going to do this and that. And then that's enough. You don't have to do this whole 90-minute, and I feel like we put
Bikram style.
Yeah, and that can be overwhelming, and then we don't get on our mats.
Yeah.
So twofold. Selfishly, I wanted to know more for myself, and then secondary, I wanted to help people show up on their mat and get what they need.
Okay. So then for the consultants who are traveling, it's tough to find time. We're stressed, we're busy, we're scheduled from sun up to sundown oftentimes. How can we bring a yoga practice with us when we're traveling?
Right, great question. So number one, I have a super lightweight mat. It's like a $10 TJ Maxx one versus my big heavy one that I like to have at home. So that was one of the things I started doing for myself. I also don't care if it gets dirty. I don't care if it's on the hotel floor. A lot of times I'll go to the pool. It's early in the morning and it's quiet, and I'll take my yoga mat to the pool. And whether I'm laying down in Shavasana doing my meditation, or if I'm doing a couple of poses, I think mindset number one of I don't have time. I think shifting it going, I don't have time for this day to go wrong. So I'm going to give myself a couple of minutes, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whether you're doing it in your hotel room or you're going out to the pool, or maybe you go for a little walk because there's a park down the way and you're doing it on a yoga bench or whatever. I think that, again, perspective of, look, I really want this day to go well. I care about myself. I want to show up and as my full healthiest, best version of myself. And so this is important. It's as important as taking a shower or drinking water. Right. So, and it doesn't have to be this full on thing. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. Incorporate it with your meditation. We have moving meditations, what could just be a walk. Put your noise canceling headphones in, cancel out what's going on around you, and just move and be and find your version basically of carving out that space for yourself.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it doesn't have to take long and it doesn't have to be arduous, and you don't have to go find a yoga studio wherever you're traveling to. I mean, that's something that I've done from time to time.
Yeah.
I love that too, when there's the opportunity to do that. But I mean, it can be as simple as just, I'm in my room and I'm going to do stretch up and I'm going to stretch out and I'm going to do some deep breathing and I'm going to just center myself. And I think that's something that
we don't receive training typically on how to have an energetic hygiene practice.
Right.
How to clear ourselves of all of the other things that are going on around us, the noise, we are the product of everything that we consume. And if we're not being mindful of not only just showering and clearing off the physical, but also the emotional of what we're taking on from everything around us, that makes it really easy to get bogged down, to be entrenched into the demeanor and the mindset of everyone else around us. And that gets heavy. That's a lot to carry. And that makes it really tough to show up as your best self.
And like you said, traveling in itself, I mean, even if you're the best and you're a veteran, traveling in itself, the planes, trains, automobiles, the noise, the things like that, I think once you get in your room, it's your time and your space. And I had a coach explain it to me this way: you want to play offense. You don't want to constantly be playing defense. And when we travel, sometimes we have to play defense because we're on a plane, and so there's rules and restrictions. And but when you get in your room and you take control of your life, you're like, okay, I'm playing offense. I'm going to take a bubble bath, or I'm going to lay down for a couple minutes, or I'm going to do some stretches, or I'm going to meditate, or listen to. Your focus is everything. And by playing offense, you're focusing on wanted versus all the other stuff, and you're also setting yourself up for future success when you clear your mind and your plate and you focus on wanted. It's pointing you in that direction of where you want to go.
Completely. Well, and then it recenters, as you're saying, that what you want, that desire towards the outcomes that you're seeking. So if you haven't listened already, I did a whole session on healthy diplomatic communications, and that really centered all around setting yourself up for success as you go into those interactions, which means taking the time to cultivate a mindset of the outcomes that you're seeking. Super important. And I think that that's really potent in an energy practice of setting your intentions, and those can be kind of clearing intentions of, okay, I want to shed everything around me that is not for my best, that's not getting me to the outcomes that I want, so that I can achieve the outcomes that I do want. And it doesn't have to take long, but it does take that mindset of, let me recenter myself, let me stop getting pulled around from everything happening around me, and let me come back to that balanced state. So yeah, I love that. It has served me personally very well in the chaos that is consulting and travel and meeting client demands and working with big teams and keeping everyone on track and on pace and motivated and excited, but also positive, because the consulting world is so full of negativity.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get sucked into that negativity and that kind of just narcissistic traits that pull us into a lower level of kind of thinking and acting and responding, and that's not healthy. That doesn't get us great outcomes.
Right. And I think when you pause before you go out into the world, whether it's like I've got a dinner to go to or a board meeting or a meeting one-on-one with someone, I think, how do you want to show up? Like you said, your segment intending, like, what are my intentions for this, but how do I want to show up? So I had a board call this morning and I got real quiet and thought, how do I want to show up? And so I watched it, right? Visioning. It's like, okay, this is how I want to show up. There wasn't a lot of need for me to interject or to input. And I thought, I want to show up as clear and present, and how can I add to what we're doing here? And I think when we do that, when we pause, take the moment like you said, and think, how do I want to show up? How do I want this to go? And even run through the visioning and the process in your head. These are really powerful things. And I think we sometimes, like you said, get wrapped up in all the other stuff, but you have the power. You have the power to show up as your best version of yourselves. I just got goosebumps, so, which always means we're on point, right? And I think when you realize how powerful you are, and by setting that, like, gosh, and it can be fun.
It absolutely
can be fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that's, like you said, there's a lot of things going on out here, but we have the power to show up and be present and be active and have fun with it. Even though there might be some anxiety in the beginning, when you take that time, then you're setting yourself up for success.
You're cultivating the environment that you want to walk into, and you're really kind of shifting the molecules. You're shifting the energy of the space to kind of prime the encounters to go the way that you want to see them go for the best possible outcomes that they could render. And that is incredibly powerful activity and visualization to take on. So all of this is really to cultivate A, an awareness practice, and B, an energetic self-care practice that then C, gets you to clearer, more confident outcomes that you're seeking.
100%.
One of the things that I'd love for you to talk about is an exercise you had me do, which is kind of the universe bucket of writing everything down. Will you talk about that a bit?
Yeah. So focus wheel.
The what's in my bucket to do and what's in the universe's bucket.
Oh, yes. Okay. So overwhelm, like you said, that's something that everybody struggles with, particularly as a consultant. When you're traveling, you have all this stuff, and your to-do list grows and grows and grows until you
Pages. Yeah.
What's that?
Mine was like 4+ pages.
Right? Or like our journal where it's yes. So Abraham Hicks actually teaches this, and they call it the placemat process. Because Esther sat down in a restaurant and she was feeling completely overwhelmed with all the things to do, from accounting to phone calls to this and that. And so she sat down, and on the back of the placemat was empty and a clean slate, much like your notebook there. And they said, draw a line down the middle. And on the left, we're going to have you write you. And on the right, we're going to write down universe. And as she began to go through the things in her head of what she needed to do, she was realizing that the universe could handle most of the tasks that we're worried about. So let's say you're waiting for a phone call back from so-and-so because this issue needs to be resolved. You just simply put it over here in the universal column and go, okay, universe, you know what?
I can't control that.
I can't control this. I don't need to meddle. I know that things are always working out for me. So I'm just going to, for this moment, put it over here in the don't need to do.
Yep.
I'm just going to let it work itself out. And I think when you go through the process of what do I need to do and what do I just need to turn over to the universe, we realize that we're spinning in our head all these things that we think that we don't need to do. And I'm sure we've all had this happen where you're thinking about someone and all of a sudden they call you and you're like, wait, I was just thinking about you. You were on my to-do list. That's an example of our to-do list has the ability to grow and spiral and get out of control, which is like the weight you were talking about. And it just weighs us down and weighs us down. But when you sit down for a moment, put a line down the paper and go, okay, what do I really need to focus on? What do I want to accomplish today in this moment? And you think, okay, I've got a dinner tonight. I want it to go really well. And I want to show up present. I want to listen for the purpose of listening and understanding what the person is saying, not so that I can form a response. And I just want to show up as myself. So yeah, I love that process because then you also see in black and white. I love black and white. Oh my gosh, give me a piece of paper in black and white. And it's like, oh, I just have to show up tonight. And I just need to show up as my best version of myself, healthy, happy, ready to go. And tomorrow's a new day. So I love that. That's a great process. Thanks for bringing that up.
I love that exercise. It helps so much because, I mean, I have multiple ventures and activities and client demands and personal responsibilities and things that I care about. And there's so many different buckets of responsibility, and that can become overwhelming. There's so many things I'm trying to advance in all these different areas. And yes, there are actual things that I do have to do, that things will not happen if I don't take those steps. But so many of the things that I'm seeking is, okay, I can't control that. I am completely dependent upon the responses of someone else, the other just pieces falling into place, and I can't worry about that. I've done my best. I've shown up. And that exercise just really has done a great job for me of kind of parsing through the noise and prioritizing what is most important and what I can actually affect.
Yeah, and I think too, we've all had that phone call where you're like, I can't believe that just happened. Like, I just got invited to speak on stage. They're paying me crazy amount of money. Or this client that I spoke to a long time ago just called and said, I'm ready to book. So when we give it up to the universe and we let go of that control that we think is so, it's the opposite. When we let go and just show up freely and clear, things happen for us. Like those things are in the queue. They're waiting to happen. And often it's us that's preventing it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're forcing it away by being so tied to the outcome, to
Yes.
our expectations.
Yep.
When we have kind of a joyful thought of this is what I would like to have happen. This is what I see being positive and good. This is how I see a client meeting going, or how I see an interview going, or how I see a job position going. That's great. That's cultivating what we want. But then when we let go of how it actually occurs and we just trust that we've shown up, we've done our best, we've put in the prep work, right? And the good doesn't happen when you don't work hard and put your efforts forward.
Listen, I have no idea how my car drives. I just know that I get in it and it goes, right? And I don't need to know.
Right.
But sometimes we feel like we do, right? So just get in the car and just drive it. Just go.
Do your best.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And if something comes up, whatever. Everything is always working out for me.
Yeah. And you'll deal with it. You'll trust that you have the intelligence, the capability, and the people and the resources around you to pull together when necessary to get where you do need to go.
Right.
So,
and you do. You didn't get where you're at today without.
You didn't.
You've got everything you need. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these sometimes seem like fluffy, duffy stuff and airy fairy. No, this is where the magic happens. Is in this arena.
Yeah. And the ability to take that time to be aware of how this happens and to focus on it and to give yourself the space to accept it and to be excited for it. Yeah. Absolutely. What else would you recommend for busy consultants as they're dealing with all the different things that are kind of bombarding them every day?
You know, I was thinking about this the whole time today, and while we're getting ready, I think that leadership is different than it used to be. Who's the book? The Leader with No Title. It's not Seth Godin. Apologize. But anyways, I think that leadership is what's coming up for me today, is that you don't have to have a title to be a leader. And I'm sure as a consultant, you walk into a room, there's a lot of people looking at you. What are they going to say? What are they going to offer? What are they going to do? And there's an opportunity to put pressure on yourself, or you just show up and you lead by inspiration. You show up clear, you show up present, you listen for the intention of receiving what they're saying. And more people are talking about showing up intuitively these days, where they show up and they sit in a room and they look someone in the eyes and they're listening again for the purpose of understanding where that person is coming from. I think that's how we solve problems, is by understanding what's going on and thinking with our own connection, our own intuition, and showing up and reading the room and reading the energy and the body language. And I think when your intention is to do good and to show up as a leader, in that you're like, okay, I'm here, I'm present, my intention is to be a part of the solution, what's best for everybody. I think that's really powerful. And whenever you read about successful entrepreneurs and startups and founders and these amazing people, they always show up present. And whether they would call themselves a leader or not, other people define them as that. They're such a great leader. They're always present and they always understand me. And they have a magic ability to, and then fill in the blank. And again, I think the magic is you in the work that you've done before you arrive on the board call or in the meeting or with your client. It's no different than an athlete showing up on the basketball court or the football field or a singer walking onto stage or something like that.
In the flow state, ready to,
Yeah, and it also, interestingly, I think it compartmentalizes our on time, right? And it makes it better and easier. And then when you leave with this feeling of, I showed up present, I did my best, and I feel good. Let's go for a walk, or let's go have a nice dinner. And you can kind of leave the problem and the work and the thing that you're working on, it gets compartmentalized. Pardon me, too many P's going on there. I think then you leave and you're like, oh, I can show up on my yoga mat for me now, or I can show up at dinner with my family or with my friends, and it feels good to feel good.
It absolutely does. And what's interesting is, so I used to be just exhausted after days on site, right?
Imagine.
Like you're having to be so consuming so much information, being so focused on just like how you present yourself, etc. And that was so energetically draining and exhausting. Whereas now, if I do the work before the conversation of how do I want to show up, I've set that intention, and then I don't even think about it after I walk into a room. I'm just like, that's I've already set the stage for that. I don't even have to be doing it all throughout the day. Then I can be in that flow state where I'm counseling my clients and consulting effectively and resolving the problems that we need to resolve. And then when I'm done, okay, you're right. It's like that space is now concluded. The work there is done, and I'm not completely drained. I'm ready to go focus on something else. Like you said, go take a walk, go to a yoga class, go take a hot shower, go have a nice dinner. But I'm not just completely, I need to go shut down.
Right.
Totally.
The analogy I was thinking of while you were saying that is like, you can either be in the flow with your boat pointed downstream, and this is fun. Oh my God, do you guys remember when you started this? Because this was supposed to be fun. And you wanted to be part of successful teams, and you wanted to contribute. And when it's fun and you're flowing downstream, it's great. But dang it, when you're paddling your boat upstream, there's not enough strength in the world to continue. So what I heard you say is you're like, I figured out how to point my boat downstream, and gosh, life is good. And then you have energy after your meetings that you can do other things, including celebrate. And but yeah, that's it, man. You learned how to point your boat downstream and be with the flow, and flow with self too. And
I think that's just a super critical and important thing for those of us in the consulting space, because consulting is exhausting just by nature of how it is. We have to go and travel to client sites and be able to show up and prove our worth with every hour that we are consulting. We're having to prove our value and the results that we're gaining for our clients. We're solving their toughest problems. And that in of itself is a fatiguing effort, that you're cultivating so much creative thought and support and resolution towards their challenges. So being able to do it in a way where you're getting to be authentic to yourself and you're not feeling like you're having to put on a mask or a facade in order to show up effectively, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, and
your outcomes get better too. Your clients want to work with you more.
Yes.
They trust you more. They rely upon you further. They are ready to show up as well.
100%. People have a nose for BS, right? And they have a feeling for authenticity. When you walk in the office and you feel good, you look good, and we're ready to start. Let's do some really great things here. That translate. Energy doesn't lie. Body language doesn't lie. I just did this gesture. My good friend Mike Worrelton is a body language expert, and that's one of the first thing he teaches is show up, and you show up authentically. And when you take care of yourself, you show up authentically, and that translates immediately to clients and everyone around you. You know, people in the elevator. And I know, again, I've been an entrepreneur 23 years. In the beginning, I thought, that's silly. Come on. I have to work harder. I have to be smarter. I have to. And the irony and the magic is, no, you just be you. Just show up and be authentic and take care of yourself so you feel good. So I think that really is the secret sauce. I'm sure you've had entrepreneurs ask you all the time, hey, what's the secret sauce to being, and the secret sauce is you. Yeah.
Each one of you.
Right.
Yeah.
You,
the magic, you are the magic.
You are, and it's not cliche. You really are. That's the secret sauce. And like I said, people love authentic people. People do business with those that they know, like, and trust. Yes. And that authenticity is everything.
Absolutely. So speaking of the things that you consume, we are the product of everything we consume. That includes the news, that includes the people we're around, the lighting, the smell, the sensory, all of it. What about how we can be healthy on the road with our diet and the other things that we're consuming? Yeah,
good question. And thankfully too, it's getting a little bit easier. Like, there's more options. You're finding healthier options in the airport, and even hotel restaurants and things like that, or ancillary stores that are close, like a coffee shop that has, we went to a beautiful one today, and that has healthy versions of things. So I think, number one, you need to know yourself and what works best for you. Like, are you a breakfast person, or are you doing your liquid protein in the morning and you're doing you're intermittent fasting, and at lunch you want your big meal, or at lunch you're more of a salad and a this. So know yourself. Know you should be when you're at home, you should be playing with different things. Go to the store and try, am I a protein girl? Am I healthy fats? And once you know yourself and what works for you, then you can pack your bag, right? So when I fly, I have all the good stuff in my bag. I'm not waiting for the flight attendant to come around with the sugar cookies, right? And the Coke. So some of my favorite snacks, I love coconut everything. So coconut chips, and this is my little secret. TJ Maxx has some good stuff. Oh my gosh, they're and not stuff full with crap. So I'm not a fan of processed food, but there are so many cool foods out there that are handy and snack size that aren't full of all the processed junk. So number one, teach yourself how to read a label, know what's healthy and what you like, and then pack your bag full of it. So in my bag, I have healthy snacks. Number one, I have Element Hydrator. LMNT is my favorite every day, 1 or 2 a day. It's easy to pack and go, and hydration is critical. It's critical for brain health and being able to show up. Right. That's hands down.
Super necessary here in Park City because it's
okay.
So dry.
Gosh, yeah, dry and elevation, and
super necessary while flying. I mean, gosh, flying is just takes it out of you. It really does.
It really does. And find out how to support yourself. So one of the other things I do on a plane is earphones, noise canceling earphones. I think before earbuds, I had the big Bose. Yep. Because it's important to me. And when I settle into my seat, I settle and I get comfortable and I think, what else do I need? Do I need a coat? Do I need a blanket? I've got my water. I've got my noise canceling. Often I'll put a meditation app on in my seat. I think taking care of yourself is critical. So healthy snacks that work for you and your body, and knowing what you need. Don't stretch yourself out all day and it's 4 o'clock and you're like, oh my God, I haven't taken care of myself. Yeah. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for that in today's day and age. Like I said, do your homework while you're at home, play around with different products, and everybody has a traveling size thing. So like I do Seed, the probiotics, and they even have this little travel vial, right? Okay. Like everything comes in travel. So figure it out, pack your bag for success. So when I'm sitting on the airplane, I even have snacks for everybody else. If you want to be on a plane, you want to be next to me, because number one, I won't talk to you unless you want to talk. And number two, I have the healthy snacks, I have the hydration, and but set yourself up for success. You really have got to prioritize yourself, honestly. And then same thing when you get into your room. I was just in a hotel. I've been, and I'm like, there's no water. Who doesn't have water? So I'm downstairs paying $5 for a jug of Evian or Fiji or whatever. I don't care. I just go, abundance. I feel good. I'm taking care of myself. This is important to me. Right. And so take good care of yourself. And again, not cliche, critically important.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Some of the things that I do is I travel with a silk sleep mask and my silk pillowcase. Those are really critical things for me just to get a good night's sleep. Yes. Also, apparently, all the fire alarms in hotels now have flashing lights that flash while you're sleeping, and they're typically right in your eyesight, which is horrible for your circadian rhythms and horrible for a good night's sleep. So, and if you're doing blackout sleep with your curtains closed, then it's even worse. So, actually, Dave Asprey has a company that he makes little blackout stickers that you can travel with, and you can just stick them on things. Dave. I take those everywhere with me. It makes a foundational difference in the quality of sleep.
Yes. One more thing with that is I use the swimmer earwax
earplugs?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't love the foam ones. I never get them to fit right. I have another one that I like, but when you lay on them, they hurt. The earwax ones, they come in a little travel case, of course, and they work magic for knocking out the sound. I believe that sleep is critical. If you're not getting 8-9 hours, you really need to visit that, because your body heals, you reset. There's so much going on, but eye mask always, earplugs as my other thing, and set yourself up for success there. It's critical. I agree.
Well, and this one's a tough one for consultants, I know, but reducing the alcohol consumption.
Yes, gosh dang it. You're partying, you're celebrating, you're going out with clients.
Yeah, it's hard. You're ruining the whole next day. You're ruining your sleep. It's really it's painful. And the older you get too, the harder it is to recover.
I hate to admit that.
And it's
Here's some tricks though. Number one, hydrate. right? I know a lot of people will do water with the alcohol if you feel like you're in a situation where you have to participate. The other thing too is trying to make smart choices. So obviously a rum and Coke is like, might as well just pour sugar in a cup and do that. Could you do a vodka club? Could you do
with lemon?
Yes, there are a lot of really cool mixes out there too that are low in sugar or organic. There's organic wines. We've had fun sampling those. So try and make smart decisions. And same thing with the food that you eat. You know, they're walking around with these platters and it's like, oh my God, that looks amazing. Again, know yourself, know your body, know what you like.
And don't feel pressured to consume. I mean, I think that's something that, especially as you're new in consulting and there's food everywhere, clients are bringing food to the table, you have an expense account, it's just easy. It's very easy to overindulge and then it's very hard to get it off and to feel better. And so don't feel like you have to participate in drinking. That's a choice, and quite frankly in the workplace it's best to do that not at all, or at least in moderation. But when it comes to all the food, you don't have to eat what they're putting out there, and sometimes that's awkward at first when you're like, well, why aren't you going to eat? It's like, oh, you know what, I already ate, or I'm not hungry, or just no thank you. No thank you is a perfect answer. No is a complete sentence. And so I think getting more comfortable with just respecting your own boundaries so that you feel good and you can continue to show up well. I mean, for a long time when traveling, I knew that the only thing that I could eat for lunch and not feel sick afterwards would be Chipotle. Because I would get like a bowl, like a salad bowl, and I knew that their ingredients, this was prior to all the food poisoning challenges that they had, but I knew I could eat it and at least I would feel okay for the rest of my work day on site with clients. Because that was a tough thing. I always have like digestive, just not upset stomach, and worrying about how I was going to feel for the rest of the day and how I was going to show up to support my clients based on what I'd eaten. That's really tough to navigate. Whereas, okay, I'd found something that I knew I could count on that I could consume. So as you were saying earlier, know your body, know what you can eat, know if you need to be packing things so that you've got options. Those things make a fundamental difference in how you're going to feel, how you're going to show up, how you're going to perform, and then also how you're going to have time outside of work to enjoy the other components, whether that's enjoying time with your friends and colleagues, seeing the cities that you're traveling to, going to the yoga class or spin class, maybe training for an endurance athletics event. I've got lots of colleagues that, you know, while they're traveling for work, they're also training for Ironman, which is incredible. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know how hard that training is. And to fit that in while traveling, whew, wow, y'all are awesome. So be comfortable setting your own boundaries so that you're able to show up the way that you want to.
And I think things are changing too. And it's funny how when you, let's say you go to bar, everybody's ordering drinks and you order a club soda or a water or something like that. I know that there are non-alcoholic drinks that are kind of cool, that are not full of sugar and things like that. But also don't be afraid to ask for a club soda in a short glass with a lime. People don't know if you've got vodka in there or not.
And who cares?
And who cares, right? So I think as you put yourself out there and say, oh, I'm just going to do a club soda or I'm going to do a water with lemon, I think you're also going to see other people in the industry making lifestyle changes. And that's the cool thing about 2023 is that lots of people are focused on, hey, what do I need to be healthy? And they're making different food choices and the food offerings are changing as well. You know, right? It's not mashed potatoes and gravy and this. It's like, oh, we have a really beautiful fish offering with a grilled asparagus. And so it's surprising once you start putting yourself out there in that way and making different decisions. Somebody else will say, oh great, cool, I'm doing this, have you tried this? And it opens kind of a whole new world to you.
It's the way that they say, you know, if you decide you're going to get a red car, you're going to suddenly start seeing nothing but red cars. And you get what you look for.
Law of attraction, baby.
You get what you look for. So if you're looking for the healthier options, you will start to find them. You will start to find the people that are also pursuing those type of interests and dietary lifestyle choices. So it makes a huge difference. I think the other thing I want to make a plug for that I love while I travel is my red light.
Yes.
I travel with a red light therapy device, and it is awesome. I mean, I'm in town right now because I had dental surgery and that wasn't fun, but like because of that healing, like I have had no pain meds, no any challenges or issues, and I credit a lot of that to the healing capabilities of like a red light device. Those are awesome for recovery. They're easy to fit in your bag, easy to travel with. So any other thoughts or considerations for consultants who are balancing challenging workloads and the chaos and stress of work travel.
Right. I think the other thing too is surround yourself with good people. We talk about this a lot, whether it's a podcast you like or a book, or maybe there's a mastermind group of women that you connect with weekly or bi-weekly. Have good friends, hang out with good friends, right? We talk about this a lot. And people who inspire you. Sometimes we sit back and take a look at our life and we go, wow, that person really doesn't inspire me. And it's more of a challenge. So I think having people who love you and support you, people who inspire you, again, whether that's a podcast or a book or things like that. So cutting the clutter, you've got a busy life. So if you're on Instagram and it's no longer inspiring you, set it down.
Right.
Go jump in the pool. Go
unfollow everyone that
turn off
bringing joy.
Turn off your notifications, but really set yourself up for success. Again, surround yourself with good people. Consider some coaching. I think that when you have a support system and you surrounded yourself with good people and good things, and listen, surrounding yourself with good people could mean yourself.
Absolutely.
Are you investing in like self-care Sunday? Are you happy taking
versus
a
Sunday
walk
scaries?
by?
I love that. Sunday scaries are an industry notorious term for how bad Sunday is, because you're either flying out Sunday and having to leave, or you're preparing to fly out Monday and work's coming, and it's just like the sinking dread that sets in that you can't shake, and it just grips you and you have full anxiety in your body and you feel sick and you don't, it's awful. I mean, it is absolutely a thing. And I love that. Self-care Sundays.
Let's turn it and go self-care Sunday. Okay. So I'm packing, I'm setting myself up for success. I know what it feels like to have a suitcase that feels good with some outfits and some plans and some options, which you're certainly an expert on, versus the, oh my God, it's Monday at 7. My car's in here in 5 minutes, and you throw shit in. And then every time you need to go get dressed, it's like, oh my God, this is a hot mess. So we've all had trips that have gone really well. So let's turn it into Self-Care Sunday, where also too, in my program, we talk about making different products like fat bombs for those of you doing keto and stuff, and making foods that are ready to go for the week, whether you're traveling or at home. But I find when I take the time on Sunday and I do my toes, or typically on Sunday, I do a restorative yoga practice. This is like, oh my gosh, I've had a big week. I'm going to focus on quads and hamstrings and, spend 2 minutes in pigeon pose versus a flowy type practice where the day is focused on, what do I need? What do I need, sweetheart?
Yeah.
What do you need? Do I need some journaling? Do we need a walk with some headphones? But circling back to, you really do need to be your own best friend, and quality relationships start with the relationship with yourself. And I think too, like you were talking about hosting clients and being around people, no thank you and no, like you said, is a full sentence. Maybe everybody's going out and what you need is a self-care walk with your headphones, or you just need to lay on your floor but learning how to take care of yourself. But yes, I would much rather love a self-care Sunday, and
that's much better.
Maybe it's a mud mask. I mean, when's the last time you did a mask for yourself at home? Like, it's so silly.
Last night.
Good girl. Yes, I did one on my trip and I just giggled, and I think this is so easy and inexpensive. And listen, most of it is making yourself a cup of tea and reading a book.
Yep.
That's like
put a meditation on
free,
and
right? Just give yourself
reset.
all that stuff and be good to yourself. And definitely Self-Care Sunday, and knowing in the moment. You don't always have to participate with everything.
Well, and I think that that's a good point as well. Just the ability to take the time. Well, it's not always fun. We like to procrastinate, but to take the time to prepare.
Yes.
That preparedness in packing, that preparedness in presentations for clients, instead of procrastinating. Preparedness and practice versus procrastination is incredible, because your results will be so much better.
How about prepare instead of panic?
Yeah.
I hate panic. Don't you hate panic?
Panic's awful.
When you're on the road,
oh my gosh,
you're like,
awful.
Oh my gosh, I have to run to Walgreens because I forgot, or where's
my
the
hose
nearest?
gotta run in them.
Panic is the worst. So
the time ahead of time is worth it.
Yes, do that self-care and the preparing
and make it kind of fun. Put music on. Figure out what your outfits are going to be for the week.
Try them on, right?
Right.
Oh my God, how many times have you not? You're like, oh,
I
I'm
look
going to
better
wear
that week. Yeah, I'll look better that week. My outfits will be more creative. I'll be excited for what I'm going to wear versus just, I just pulled some things that go together and put it in my bag. No, versus being really conscious about cultivating what you're going to wear, what you're going to need. I have everything, which, I mean, I do have a packing list if you want it. There is a packing list if you need help figuring out what to wear for the week. But it makes a huge difference. And then how you get to show up because you're not stressed. You're not running behind. You're prepared.
I kind of giggle. It's one of those adult things.
Like, it's very adult.
It's like
unpacking at the hotel.
Yeah. It's like,
but you feel better for the week.
At the end of the
everything
week,
looks lovely. You're not living out of a suitcase. You actually like put it all away. You can see everything. It goes a long way towards how well you feel when you're in a space.
Listen, I say we're in the feel better game.
Yeah.
Every day you get up, your goal is to feel better. Feel better. How can I feel better in this moment? Like I said, you get in your airline seat, you get your stuff, you get situated, and you're like, oh, can I feel better? Is there anything else I need? Get situated in your hotel room. How can I feel better? Even let's say something didn't go great. It's like, okay, how can that feel better next time? We're in the feel better, feel good game. So do things that help you feel good and listen, the rest just unfolds like letting the universe handle it. So
absolutely. All right. So shifting gears just a little bit, with your serial entrepreneurship, any thoughts or considerations for consultants who might be looking to pursue other passions, other joys, and to turn them into alternative revenue streams?
Gosh, you guys, I could eat, sleep, and breathe entrepreneurialism. I just love it to the point where I thought, this is what I need to do. I want to eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, and I want to have fun, and I want to do things that bring me joy. I was just listening to Gay Hendricks' book, The Big Leap, and he was talking about the same thing. There are a lot of opportunities out there. There's a lot of stuff going on, but when you really drill down to your genius, and you really get choosy about what you do, and you're working on things that you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like work. Plus, you're more productive, things flow. So there are a lot of people who are like, man, I'm doing this over here, but I'd really like to do this. So my advice to entrepreneurs is have the guts and the courage to say, this is what I like. Even if you think that's not what your mom wants to hear or the world wants to hear or your neighbor or so-and-so, have the guts to speak your truth and say, I want to do this. And I think I'm going to be good at it, and really be honest with yourself. Don't do it because there's a money offer or because of this or that. Do it because you feel good about it. And if you feel so good about it, you really can't go wrong. And so it's getting over that fear and all these false things you've been telling yourself. But my advice is dive in and do it. And do it with gusto. And again, surround yourself with people who understand that. And listen, sometimes when you're beginning to build a thought or a dream or something you want to do, sometimes the first thing we want to do is go out and go blah, 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 blah to everybody, right? And then they're dream killers and they kill it. And their intentions might be good, like, hey, I don't want you to lose your house, or I don't want you to go broke, or I don't want you to die jumping off that cliff. Sometimes there's a time to announce, and there's times to hold your cards.
Incubate.
And yes, and don't be afraid to incubate and sit with self. When you go on the walk, go, okay, team. I call my angels my guides. I call them my team, and I'm just like, okay, team, what do we got going on? And this is kind of what's up for me. And have this talk with yourself, and that's really where the magic happens, is in that wheelhouse of alignment and your intuition. And ask for help. The other day I was doing something, I'm like, okay, I need help with this, like help me, and it resolved. And it's like putting the
every day.
list right, and
I need help with things every day,
right, and being in the moment. But it's giving it up and just saying, okay, universe, this seems like fun. And people always say, well, how do I know? Well, does it feel good?
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll say, go ahead.
I do a gut check where if I feel fear in my chest versus my abdomen. So if I feel fear in my chest, that is old conditioning, that is old programming that's trying to keep me kind of back and reticent towards things. It's not real fear, it's conditioned fear. Whereas if I feel fear or like illness in my stomach, that is true, that is real, that is not good. And I need to I need to like, nope, that's not for me, that is not good, that does not feel good. And so that check really does a good job of evaluating if something is for me or not. and how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, does it light you up? Like my first answer to you was like, oh my gosh, I love entrepreneurialism. I eat, sleep, breathe this. I can talk to anybody about it. It just excites me. And the thought of working with people and helping them create, I love building businesses. And then once they get going, it's like, not so much, but you want things that light you up like that. When I decided to do my 200 hours for yoga, I was excited about it. I wanted that. I wanted that information. I wanted the camaraderie. I wanted to learn. I wanted to apply. You should be excited about it, and it should feel good. And then sometimes people will ask me, it's like, well, I have two different things. And then I say, well, that's not ready yet. You need to flow some more energy. Sitting with self and going, does this feel good? Or does this feel good? The answers will come if you give it that time to unfold and, like you said, incubate. We are powerful people. And we often go looking outside of ourselves for answers and like, am I doing the right thing? I want people to come back inwards and tune into your intuition on your yoga mat, on questions in life, and with your entrepreneurialism. When you learn how to integrate intuitive and yourself and entrepreneurial, that's where the magic is.
Absolutely. I do think it's a kind of a healing journey, though, of we get so disconnected from ourselves and from our intuition that for a period of time, we likely need some support and help from other coaches, healers, mentors, guides who can help us tune back to that internal intuition where we become clear and connected and able to interpret all of the things that we're receiving.
Like you said, am I feeling, you ask a question, it's like, well, how do you feel? You're like, oh, I feel it in my chest, or no, I feel good. I feel solid here, or my fear is here. And that's what I think good coaches do. Well, how does that feel? What do you think? And it's funny how many people, I know this has happened 1,000 times with you in consulting, people ask you a question and you turn it back and you go, well, what do you think? Or how does that feel? And then people answer their own question and they almost feel so silly that they asked you, but it's the truth. The answers are there. And to your point, we often just need someone to go, well, how does that feel? And give them permission to stop and feel for it, and reach for their own answers and their own connection. But
the hard part there is it's very difficult to get those answers when your nervous system is completely fried and shot. When you are living with your autonomic systems not firing correctly, where you are fried and you are just totally burned out and you're not regulated, it becomes very difficult to respond responsibly instead of reactionary in a reactionary capacity, and to be able to interpret how you're feeling, because everything feels bad. When your nervous system is fried, everything feels high strung and reactive and just inflamed. And so it does take these self-care practices in order to restore that equilibrium and balance, and to get to where you can respond in a calm, compassionate, collected manner and be able to tune into your own innate intuition.
Yeah, we call it receiving mode.
Yeah.
Getting yourself in receiving mode. And that's what you do when you go into meditation, is you sit, you get quiet, you receive. And then the idea is that you spend your day in blended mode, where you're functioning as a human, but you're also constantly receiving from higher self and your inner being and intuition. And it's this blended mode of showing up in the world, saying, okay, world, I'm listening, I'm receiving. One of our favorite ones to talk about is repeating numbers. When you see 111 or 1234 or whatever it is for you, the red car, when you receive that, those are signs, signals, and messages from above that we're here, we're with you, you're receiving, you're supported, we're here. And I think that when you begin to integrate this into your life, and they call it a meditation practice for a reason, it's a practice.
There's no mastery.
There's good days and bad days where you're more connected and less connected, and flow we talked about, but that's one of my favorite topics to talk about, is receiving. Is it a spirit animal, a butterfly? I had a moth the other day in my hotel.
Did too.
In my hotel, right? Okay, so I'm in my hotel room, and so old me, which is another favorite, old me would have been like, oh my God, I have a moth, this room is a dump, which I love the room, by the way. But I was like, oh, this is for me. And so I grabbed my phone and I pulled up spiritual meaning of moth. And of course, it's what you think it would. And often it is really basic. Like if you have a pain in your neck, a physical pain, it really can mean, hey, what's the pain in the neck? What is the thing that you need to just let go of? It really can be that basic. Doesn't have to be convoluted. So I looked at it and was like, yeah, new, fresh beginnings, how caterpillars transform and moths. And I was like, yep. And I just looked up and I went, I'll take it. That's my new favorite thing, is I'll take it. And then I had this beautiful walk and this conversation with guides and higher self and whatnot. And I said, just lightly, I thought, I haven't seen a ladybug. I was pondering the moth, and there was a hummingbird that came to me on the walk, and I was like, yeah.
You always get hummingbirds.
I know, I love me some hummingbirds. And I just gently thought, I haven't seen a ladybug this year. And I was down south. I was in Sedona, Palm Springs, not up in frigid Park City. And so later that afternoon, just, living, enjoying the day, literally in a gigantic pool, I looked down and there was a ladybug.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this shit works. When you're open and you're in receiving mode, you can receive these signs, signals. Yeah. Maybe it's a car. I was on the road later and I saw a semi truck go by and my initials KA were in black, bold letters. I go, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Take all the good stuff. It means what you want it to mean. It doesn't have to be anything convoluted or crazy. I'll just look down and see the repeating numbers and I go, oh, I'll take it. Thank you. The ladybug.
Yep.
Oof, man.
I get bunnies a lot.
Yes,
Fresh
take
starts,
it.
yeah.
Take it. Make it what you want it to be. But you're always supported. It's never ending. Things are always working out for you.
It's all for you.
Yes.
It's not happening to you. It's all for you.
Yes,
and when you take that mindset, that shift will completely transform your life because it takes you out of a victim mentality.
These are life-saving, life-changing things. And again, I know it's easy to go, meditation, God. We've been talking about that since the 80s or 90s or whatever, but it's not. It's to take a moment to, see what resonates with you. And again, it's a practice. You're not going to, jump out there and there's no such thing as perfection, but just have a sense of humor, right? Don't you think is a good way? Just have a sense of humor. Go, oh, that's a ladybug in a gigantic pool. In this entire pool, I don't know how many thousand, here's an itty bitty ladybug. And I had just asked about or thought about it, and there it is, right? So take those things and take it in business too. When somebody walks in and they say something and you're like, I was thinking the same thing, and that we're both on the same page. That must be a good idea because, and again, if it feels good, go there. People always say in meditation, because you're taught to brush the thoughts away, right? And brush them away and brush them away. But if the thought that comes to you in meditation or after, it feels good, that's the guidance.
Right. That's the clarity.
I think good leaders begin to understand this quickly. They know when they're aligned, and they know when an idea is a good one because it feels good, and they know it's coming from something bigger than themselves. Yeah. Their higher self, their inner being, their guidance, whatever word you want to use it. And I really think that's what successful high vibe people have learned. It's like, okay, I know how to get clear. I know how to receive. I know how to be in receiving mode, and that's when good things happen. And this is for everybody. I absolutely think when I first started, I was like, oh, that person is intuitive, or that person's good at speaking, and
everyone can be. What's possible? Everything. We all have the ability to be really talented and skilled. It's based on what you want to put your time, energy, efforts into to cultivate and develop.
Yes.
We all have the gifts of intuition and connection and consciousness and public speaking and well-being and radiant health. Just what do we want to put our focus and time into? What do we want to foster and cultivate?
Yeah, I think that's step number one, is stop talking yourself out of this. This is not crazy stuff that ladybug came, the repeating numbers. Perhaps you have loved ones who've transitioned and you feel like they're present with you. They are. You ask your grandma to come into the board meeting with you and you feel her love and support. That's real. And I really think that's the secret sauce and the key ingredient to successful people, good leaders, is is what we're talking about here. We've really drilled down to the good stuff.
Certainly. Awesome. Any other thoughts for this audience today?
Man, we covered some really juicy topics and really good stuff. I feel like this needs a price tag because we gave away some good secrets here. But the secret is there's no secret.
Right.
The secret is there's no secret, that you have it and you can tap into it at any moment. You don't need a badge, a title, a crown, a degree. You got it, and be open to that and ask, and it's there. And like I said, this is some really good stuff, and I feel like again, this is where it's at. I think sometimes we go into trainings and whatnot, and we're like, oh, I have to do this, this, and this. Yeah, it boils down to self-care Sunday.
Yes.
Right?
Intention setting, being intentional with how we want to live, show up. I mean, I do an exercise with clients all the time of design your ideal day.
Yes.
What do you want it to look like? What do you want to be spending your time doing? I mean, like what we're doing here right now, this is absolutely my ideal day. This is so wonderful and fun 100%. And like, I love it. To do that for yourself. Design your ideal day. And if you feel like the work that you're doing is soulless and not for the betterment of yourself and for others, take a moment to check in on that.
Yeah.
Like, you can get yourself out of it. You can chart a path forward that does feel good. And it might not happen overnight. It might take years to get into where exactly you want to be, but start pushing and feeling for where that is, because it will become evident and you can get there.
100%.
Totally possible. But there's no reason to continue to surround yourself in an environment and with people that don't feel good.
Life is short.
Yeah.
And those kind of things manifest into physical problems.
They absolutely do.
Yeah,
health and well-being challenges and crises. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Take care of yourself, feel good, surround yourself with people that you want to work with, do good work, and 100%. That's, if I had one piece of advice I could only give, that would be it, is be happy, do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh
All right.
my gosh, so great.
Well, thank you, Kerri, so much for spending your morning with me and
What an
the
honor.
Consultants Counsel. I hope you all have enjoyed this session. I know it's been a bit different than our normal dialogue, but certainly something that, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about and has made profound differences in my life, in my well-being, in how I show up for my clients, how I show up in my friendships, how I just live my life. So I hope that this has been wonderful and you have enjoyed it, but thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you. What an honor. I very much appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Bye, y'all. Take care.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the Consultants Counsel. Thank you so much for your interest and engagement. Let us know what you'd like to learn more about by writing in to info@theconsultantscounsel.com. Thanks to Kelsey Consulting for sponsoring this podcast, and to Class Act Media for the media support. And with that, cheers and all my best. Have a great week. And remember, what's possible? Do more.